what are the meanings and symbols behind your album, A Temporary Human Experience? And, if you want to go through it song by song, but it can be taken many different ways, and I have some of my own interpretations of it. It's pretty interesting album. There's a lot of different things you can take out of it. What are the meanings behind it all?
The meanings, it's really hard to drill down hard on the meanings, because all the songs, obviously, it's what we consider, when we were writing a diverse album, meaning that we allowed each song to sit on its own. I wrote each song in the moment, and wherever it was in that moment, I left it there. I didn't want to say, oh, it needs to sound like this, or it needs to move here. No, you know what it was? It was the feeling I got in that moment. I tried to, even if it took me a little longer to finish it, it didn't matter. I still tried to always keep that sense of momentary idea that you were in, and to keep it present right there. So for me, each song is totally unique unto itself. The tying together that when I came up with the title for A Temporary Human Experience, it kind of just tied it all together, because you sometimes sit around a long time, you do something, and you ask yourself that idea. Am I a human having a spiritual experience, or am I really just spirit having this temporary human experience?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I tried to dive into the thing, man, but I wanted to answer from the curator himself, because it's pretty vague, but it's also pretty interesting, because what do you mean by a temporary human experience? It could be spiritual, it could be religious, it could be a billion different things. It's a cool idea. That's why I like it.
It's a Carl Jung thing, I mean, you guys can go. We're not going to delve into that. That'll be for a totally another interview where we head into the total Taoist sense and do some real psychotherapy behind Davy K's brain. Really dig inside it, but that idea of a temporary, just think to yourself once in a while. Just stop and just allow it to be, and just say, am I here? And if I am, why am I here? And just start asking yourself the simple questions. And that's kind of what I was doing with that album. I just felt like it's the spirit that carries it.
Yeah, that's some really deep stuff. And it's cool when you have music, it's just not out there for the heck of it. You need music with actual meaning behind it, not just musically, the melody, the technicality, the meaning, or the song, or song titles that coincide with the whole album, or the lyrics of the song, but it has to have some kind of meaning to actually really enhance what you're trying to say.
Yeah, and if we want to, let me just cue this up to create some more light on the scene. If you want to get into any of the songs in particular, sure, we can get into that, and I can give you a little bit of insight. But of course, what I think isn't always important either, right? It's kind of what you can get out of the song, and what's always interesting. All artists will pretty much tell you that the interesting thing is that what you were thinking, as long as you're not spelling it out, in ABC kind of language.
That's pretty boring.
Yeah, you have some ambiguity to the ideas, and some paradoxical ideas woven in there, Taoist paradoxical ideas, that people are going to interpret them to their own lives. Because isn't that what music's about? Like every time you hear a great song, the singer-songwriters of the 70s, okay, I grew up on that. That just goes to show my age a little bit, but I grew up on a lot of that stuff, and some of those songs just touched you so personally, even when you were 10 years old. Well, why did it when you're 10 years old and the guy that wrote it was 30, right? Yeah. But it still touched you because it's a universal theme that you can adapt to the way you're feeling in any given moment.
It definitely is, man.